What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Sean O'Malley predicts Khamzat versus Paulo Costa. Later this month, Khamzat Chimaev will look to cement his place in a middleweight title picture when he takes on Paulo Costa in a highly anticipated clash. Heading into the bout, the MMA community has remained divided regarding whether Chimaev will be able to keep his unbeaten record intact while facing the former title challenger. Ahead of the fight, bantamweight champion Sugar Sean O'Malley spoke with his coach Tim Welsh on a recent episode of their Timbo Sugar Show to discuss the high-stakes affair after rewatching Costa versus Rockhold.
I watched a little bit of Paulo Costa versus Luke Rockhold this morning. Paulo f***ed Luke up bad in the first round. Was beating his single leg, took him down, ground and pound. Was beating his. Wasn't that one where it was like Utah or something, high elevation?
Yep.
Because Luke was gas. He showed some serious heart pushing through that fight, but Paulo versus Khamzat's interesting.
With Chimaev expected to enter the middleweight title picture with a win, should Costa wind up derailing the hype train, he could wind up back in the mix for a #1 contender fight. Heading into the bout, however, Renzo Gracie has revealed that Costa underwent a minor elbow procedure, leaving fans concerned. As he revealed to SureDog.com, Costa had a little problem on his elbow that required a small surgery, but everything is fine now, and later this week, he's returning to the normal training. Boachinia brought an excellent team of sparring partners to help him there. While Gracie maintains that the procedure won't impact the fight, fans now have a new reason to be concerned about Costa heading into the fight. Shout out to our first comments on yesterday's video. Thanks for the support. Next up, let's take a look at Joe Rogan on Islam Makhachev. Heading into UFC 294, Joe Rogan believes that Islam Makhachev has lost some of his aura after going 5 full rounds with featherweight kingpin Alexander Volkanovski. Although the fight saw Makhachev declared as the winner, Rogan thinks that Makhachev is no longer the unbeatable force many believed he was before the UFC 284 affair. While speaking with Sean O'Malley and Tim Welsh on a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, he stated,
But it's like you see vulnerability in Islam after that fight with Volkanovski. First of all, you see how good Volkanovski really is.
Pound for
fucking animal.
Yeah.
He's #1 pound
100%.
for pound. You have to say, like, they have him not listed as pound for pound because he lost that fight. I think you can make a real argument that he won that fight. I think he won the fight. In my mind, he won the fight. I think he did more damage. I think he imposed his skill set. It's also insanely impressive that he goes up from 45 to fight a massive 55. And at the end of the fight, he's on top, beating him up. He drops him, gets on top of him, and had massive moments throughout the fight. But it at least gives an air of vulnerability to Islam, where before that, most people were like, this guy's unstoppable. No.
Despite that, Rogan and his guests were highly complimentary of Makhachev's skills, with Rogan unsurprisingly blown away by the top game of the lightweight champ.
He's skilled everywhere.
Yeah.
His top pressure is just smushes people.
Yeah.
Everyone says he's just freakishly strong.
He's so big.
Heading into UFC 294, the big question is whether or not Makhachev can have a repeat of their UFC 280 fight, or if Oliveira will manage to avenge the loss. Next up, let's take a look at UFC fight updates. Tuesday's Dana White's Contender Series card will be proceeding without one of the scheduled bouts after Lucas Rocha missed weight for a scheduled scrap with Davy Bittencourt. Given the weigh-in mishap on Monday, the UFC will be unable to find a replacement opponent in time, and as a result, the bout has been canceled. In other news, undefeated welterweight Ian Gary has started preparations for his fight with Vicente Luque at UFC 296, training with Team Renegade in Birmingham, England. The move comes ahead of the scrap, which will see the two former training partners collide in a pivotal welterweight showdown. Team Renegade, of course, is the home of none other than welterweight champion Leon Edwards, who's gearing up for his UFC 296 title defense against Colby Covington as well. This week's episode of the MMA Hour also saw fan favorite Renato Moicano make an appearance to discuss everything from his fight predictions to his return to the octagon. After having his April showdown with Arman Tsarukyan canceled, Moicano is targeting a return in December. As he explained to Helwani,
I would not say 100%. Depends. You know, if I know Tony Ferguson went to the show. Man, I could beat Paddy Pimblett even with no knee, brother. If that was Paddy Pimblett, I would beat him with one leg. But since we are professionals and we are fighting UFC, I'm not clear yet. But December, I will be good. I will be good to go. And I am already on training, and I have my eyes on some people. You know, the division is a mess right now. As you can see,
With the 2024 return on the horizon, it'll be interesting to see who the UFC matches Moicano up with. Next, let's take a look at Tony Ferguson targeting Conor McGregor. Heading into his UFC 296 clash with Paddy Pimblett, retirement is the furthest thing from Tony Ferguson's mind. While he's currently in the midst of a 6-fight skid, Ferguson has no plans of slowing down anytime soon. During a recent interview with ESPN, El Cucuy spoke about the bout and his goal of finally securing a fight with Conor McGregor.
Going after Khabib for a long time, going after McNuggets, this is about as close as it's going to get for right now. So as soon as we get through this, dude, we'll go after Conor. Be excited on the dotted line and get through USADA.
Although Ferguson has made it clear that there's no bad blood between he and the baddie, he has his sights firmly set on ending Pimblett's win streak and his skid. During an episode of the MMA Hour this week, he gave his prediction for the fight.
I'm going to go in there, I'm going to finish Paddy. I'm not worried about scaring him. I'm not worried about being angry, trying to go in there with this negative energy. Whatever energy that he's going to bring is not going to bring me down. I'm going to make sure that I'm so focused with everything that I have that nothing's going to faze me.
Whether or not the fan favorite is able to snap his skid, only time will tell. Next, let's take a look at Francis Ngannou gets slammed for performance. Big John Fury wasn't impressed with Francis Ngannou's open workout in Las Vegas recently. Heading into the Predator's upcoming clash with his son, Tyson Fury, Big John was left questioning whether or not Ngannou and the legendary Mike Tyson were playing a joke on those in attendance. During a recent video posted to his Instagram account, Fury spoke about the open workout, taking aim at Ngannou heading into the October 28th clash.
I hope he's kidding along and he's playing possum here. I hope that's a joke and intended to be a laugh, because if it's not, he ain't got a prayer, he ain't got a cat and hell chance. He won't get out the first round. It's probably going to be Tyson's quickest knockout. But you know what? It's got to be kidology, that. It's got to be fun and games. Because if that's what he's got, well, God help him. He'll get smashed to bits. That's all I'm saying, mate. That's embarrassing. If that's what he can do on a public workout, don't bother doing a public workout. It's a disgrace.
While many are counting Ngannou out of the clash, given that Fury has never lost inside the ring, the Predator has a newfound motivation heading into the scrap after finding out his opponent is already looking ahead at fighting Alexander Usyk. Whether or not he'll be able to play spoiler to those plans, only time will tell. UFC made a huge mistake? This weekend, former Glory welterweight champion Cedric Doumbé made his successful debut with the PFL, knocking out Jordan Zebo in just under 10 seconds. The highlight reel knockout was quick to go viral as fans praised the former Glory champ for his spectacular showing on such a big stage. In the aftermath of the win, many MMA fans were left with the lingering feeling that the UFC dropped the ball by not retaining the famed kickboxer. To quickly recap, the promotion signed Doumbé last year. However, after not being medically cleared due to what Sports Illustrated called a medical misdiagnosis, the promotion released him, resulting in the PFL swooping in and signing the former Glory champ to a lucrative contract. During an appearance on the MMA Hour this week, Doumbé was asked about the situation.
No, I didn't even think about them, They did what they did. They fucked up. They fucked up. It is what it is. Now, I'm part of the PFL. For me, PFL is the future. The future. They are doing very great. We got Francis now. He's part of the team. I mean, I'm part of the future. We are changing something. We are doing something great. So I didn't even think about them. They are doing their thing. I'm doing my thing. I think I'm the best. They lost something.
With an unblemished 5-0 record in MMA that's seen Doumbé finish all 5 opponents via strikes, it's safe to say his stock is continuing to rise. Now, let's shift gears and take a look at promoter fires shots at Dana White and the UFC. While Dana White has continued to take aim at Showtime's Steven Espinoza, he recently found himself on the receiving end of a verbal jab from ONE FC's Chadri Sidyotong. With a slew of entertaining bouts every Friday streaming on YouTube, ONE FC has continued to deliver thrilling fights for fans week after week. Sidyotong believes there's a specific reason they've been able to do that. While speaking with media members, he took aim at the UFC.
If you look at our roster, I think UFC has about 700 athletes, and so do we, around there. But if you look at the number of world championship titles that our athletes have won before they joined ONE, right? It's like half the organization. You go to a UFC or a Bellator, it's like maybe 20, 30. That's maximum. That's why you see a lot of sloppy jiu-jitsu, sloppy low-level striking in those organizations, whereas in ONE you see the very, very best on the planet in each of the disciplines, and then of course with MMA as well. So I think bar none, we have the most exciting experience for fans all over the world.
As he went on to explain, by contrast, a typical up-and-coming UFC fighter is a D1 college wrestler who transitioned into MMA after learning some striking. So far, Dana White has yet to respond to the comments. However, after Dana White's Contender Series, the figurehead is likely to field questions from media members about Sityodtong's comments. Joe Rogan gets a huge offer from a UFC competitor. Earlier this week, Joe Rogan told Dana White on his podcast to expand UFC into Muay Thai, and he would gladly commentate it so that the Muay Thai community could grow and get bigger.
UFC should hire Michael Chiavello and do a Muay Thai card. Dana, I'll commentate. You heard me. I'll fucking commentate it. Let's go.
Is Dana a fan of kickboxing though? Does he follow it?
Dana's a fan of whatever works. He's a fan of fights. He just thinks that for whatever reason, the kickboxing never caught on in America. If Dana decided to get behind that, God, it would be huge. Muay Thai, UFC Muay Thai. Dana, I'll commentate.
Do you think?
Let's go. I'll promote it.
Now, ONE FC is offering Joe Rogan a spot as a commentator and claiming that they are the biggest in Muay Thai. After their event, ONE FC president Chachi Sityodtong had this to say to Joe Rogan.
And I think most fans will say now that ONE is the most exciting promotion, especially if you watch One Friday Fights. I don't know if you guys have been watching that, but that is some insane stuff. I think Joe Rogan even came out yesterday or something, or the day before, saying, ONE has the most exciting, product. And I agree.
Joe Rogan on his podcast said that he's interested in commentating Muay Thai.
Yeah, well, Joe, you and I know each other. Come on anytime, man. If you want to commentate in the #1 league by far in Muay Thai, absolute killers and monsters, which you know already, Joe, give me a call.
Dana White shared an emotional moment backstage with a fighter in his Contender Series, telling him that even though he lost, he is still going to sign him and give him his win money. Here's the footage.
Sorry. Are you out of your mind? That was incredible. I know you did. I could tell you wanted to win, man. We're going to pay you your win money, too. That's fucking incredible. This year, holy fuck. That is insane. We can get you to the hospital and get you taken care of, all right?
I know it's crazy to say, but it looks like short notice out.
Crazy. No, it's not crazy. You're a bad boy, man. Yeah, you showed up to fucking win tonight. Love it. You were right up my alley, buddy. All right, good to see you.
Top comments. I love that they put subtitles on Stipe talking. I respect Khamzat for still representing Sweden and not wanting to speak on the matter because he doesn't want it to be political, like everyone wants to do. Someone responded with, too many toxic Khamzat haters jump to conclusions and make up whatever they want, only to discredit the guy when they're not in possession of the facts. None of us know his personal circumstances, so it's unfair to judge. I personally think he's the next big thing and can't wait for his next fight against Paulo. Gonna be firecrackers. Interesting that Aljo had to turn around and defend the title against Sugar quickly, 3 months, 13 days, after a 5-round split decision win over Cejudo. Yet Sean last fought Peter Yan in October of 2022, and then gets a 2nd round early stoppage, allowing him to leave unscathed and still gets granted another long lead time before his next bout. Irony or UFC protection / favoritism? I don't know, but worth discussion. Make sure to leave a comment and you might get featured in our next video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss any MMA news. Check out our video from yesterday if you missed it. See you tomorrow.